From one nightmare into another. Not on our dying Earth, but somewhere much worse.
Good guys are day one. A good guy's the one that brings the fire. Good guys are day one. A good guy's the one that.
We came to Enoch as our last chance, a chance at a new home. But what we found didn't save humanity. It consumed it. We awoke changed. The anomaly unleashed within us, burning with power. Impossible power. Enoch robs us of our humanity, yet gives us so much more. Each step taking us further from what we were, and closer to what we must become.
We're just gonna speak over.
Oh, okay. So what was the question? I was confused by the tech.
So, the Outriders, first boots on the ground. They're
Yeah.
set to colonize Enoch, but not everything quite goes to plan. What happens
Right.
then?
So what happens, you've kind of seen in the trailer this incredibly scary kind of storm that they encounter. And it is this kind of strange thing that they don't have a name for, but they know that it turns, until they call it the anomaly, that it turns physics upside down, that it kind of, completely, anyone who gets caught in the storm gets ripped apart, their molecules splayed across the sky. But some people, it puts back together, and it puts them back together new and changed and altered. And that's what happens to you and your friends. You become what we call altered. You have these godlike powers, and it's very hard to know who you are and what you are now, and that's what this game is about.
And there's a quite rich history behind Outriders and Enoch, right? There's like 100 years of lore, is that correct?
More.
Yeah, I would even
More
say,
than 100 years
more,
long.
more, yeah, like
Crazy.
concerning the travel, I would say like around 200, maybe not fully. Yes, we really focused on having all the history and lore inside the game. So actually, you can find all the information that you would ever ask yourself, like what happened on this planet, what happened to Earth, etc. Like you can get all this information inside the game. We're like revealing it, of course, like we're facing wise.
We had a lot of fun creating like just 200 years of lore. I mean, there's so much material that's rich to kind of
Yes,
to fill yourself with.
Yes, and we really focus on like getting like all the details, to be like everything is like matching in chronological order. There is like cause and effect for everything that happens in the history, and that's like you can see that in the environment and like in the people, and yeah. Basically, it's all in the game. We did like a lot of research, and we had some specialists on scientists, which we talked to about how the colonization process should look like in like few hundred, like in 100 years.
Right. We really wanted that sense of reality, that groundedness, and so the work with the scientists we did to really understand how a colonization would work, the way you would reuse every element of the Ark ship that you brought, how the engine of that Ark ship would be what powers that city. And
That's true. So like all that you can find in the game and like read about it. So yeah.
Yeah, so if you like reading as well as shooting, this is the game for you.
I love that personally as someone who loves narrative within stories. I don't want to go off to forums or websites to find out about the story. I want it in the game, so that's absolutely perfect. So Enoch is host to this mysterious signal that we keep seeing cropping up throughout these trailers. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that signal is without obviously spoiling anything too much?
Yeah, of course, we can't tell you what the signal is.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Like, what's going on there?
Well, so when you first land on this planet, you discover that it's supposed to be an uninhabited planet, and yet there is a signal coming from somewhere on the other side. And when you wake up again 30 years later, after the anomaly has destroyed almost everything, the anomaly has completely made electronics incapable of working. Anything more advanced than a light bulb, it is just destroyed, which means all of the hard drives with all of the knowledge, the collected knowledge of Earth and humanity that we brought with us is just wiped out. Our internet is gone, and there's nothing digital works, and yet this is a digital signal coming from somewhere on the other side of the planet. So this is one of the mysteries that leads you on, and when you wake up, you have the frequency that you scrawled on your hand with a Sharpie just before getting put in cryo, the one piece of information that's been missing for 30 years, the one chance your team may have now to find out what's across the planet.
Awesome. So we're currently seeing on the screen here, this is the kind of opening prologue. So lovely tech guy, if we could boost the audio levels up and watch the rest of this, that'd be great.
We got heavy casualties, possible contamination. I need quarantine set up at base. Do you copy? Shit.
When is something truly over? Was it when your people left Earth behind? Was it when you watched the first spaceship crash and burn? Was it when you saw your fellow Outriders crumble at your feet? Was it watching yourself die? But Enoch isn't done with you yet, Outrider. Like I always say, it ain't over till it's over.
That's so cool. And the anomaly has obviously caused Enoch to turn into this brutal environment, but it's also very, very beautiful, as you can see as well. So is this a big open world, guys? How do you move through these locations that we're seeing at the moment?
Well, basically, player has his like own track that you can travel from area to area, and each place you stop, you're like setting up a camp. We call it a hub. That's the place where you can like meet other NPCs, like quest givers, vendors. And this is your like base from which you explore the area. You can do the main quests, side quests, etc. So that's how it's set up, and we really focus on having each level to be different than the other one. So there is like different color palette, the different environment and mood.
Yeah, there's a real range there, isn't there? It's super cool.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think that what's really cool is kind of this hub and spoke structure, right? It's not like open world, but it's a journey that you're going on with this caravan of characters across this world. The Outriders are explorers of the unknown. Mm-hmm. And as you cross the world with your truck and all of your friends' trucks, you create these camps, these hubs, and then from there you can go off and explore in different directions, meeting all of these NPCs, going on side quests for them, and finding just very strange and weird parts of the world. And the other thing that's really cool is like your trucks. Like you can decorate your trucks and kit them out with like, you know, the heads of giant animals you've killed. And
As you do.
well, I have a giant head of an animal on my car. You know, it's just a monster.
Obviously.
Yeah. Big skulls.
So from what I'm hearing, the hubs and spokes, that kind of seems to play non-linear, right? It's not just kind of like start end. You can kind of go back on yourselves, replay things.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, you can like revisit any area like you've been previously to. There are like certain moments, like there are like new quests unlocking, so you can like revisit them an area, and in all the game you can like repeat any quest that you like did previously.
But I think it's worth pointing out too that we have this really cool thing, which is this world tier system, so that the level of the world is constantly going up based on your skill level. The better you play, the harder the world is going to be, and the more loot you'll be able to get, which means that when you go back to like a side quest from the first level, if you go back as a level 12, you're going to have a very different experience than you had there as a level 1.
Yes, it's still like
Bone gun. What the heck?
yeah.
So good.
That's like a meat gun. Look at that, Jesus.
Yeah.
So I think what's really interesting about the
Whoa.
guns come to life. No, I think what's really cool is like when you start this game, this is like a world where it's not clean sci-fi, right? This is like World War I trench warfare on an alien planet, right? The refugees from humanity that have landed on this planet, they are building weapons from scrap metal from the ships, from whatever they were able to bring with them. So they're very gritty and grounded. But then as you kind of advance across this planet, the kind of weird alien magic of the planet, you know, alien magic, we all want that. You know, it kind of begins to infuse, you know, these weapons in your armor.